Hey, welcome back, guys. So tonight is Ancestral night at my house. I've gone through quite the queue of cards, and I'm now at my friend Rob's Ancestral Recall. It's in pretty great condition, except for a few things, and so let me show you those. Because I don't even remember what those things are myself. I pulled this card out of my mail a while ago and forgot about it promptly. Well, right away on the back, I'm noticing this indentation here. Looks like it's almost a semicircular indentation caused by something. And over here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 indents on this side. Now he had originally sent this to me for a roller line. So we'll go over this card and look. I see something here on the end. You see that there? That may, in fact, there might be a roller line horizontally across there. We'll go check the front. Again, I apologize for the state of my fingers. When you work with like urethane adhesives and stuff, it just gets on your hands in a way that as soon as you get some dirt on there, it doesn't come off. So they are clean. I do wash my hands an awful lot, but in fact, maybe too much. They're quite dry. But yeah, they don't look the best sometimes. So yeah, okay, so there it is. See that roller line traveling just above this dude's head? If I just tilt the light like this, you can see it. There's another indentation here, right there, above his head. There's an indentation here, right on the black border. There's another little indentation mark right there. Oh, and I think there's actually, look at this, there's a second roller line. So it's actually got a double roller line. Doubly lucky. One there, one here above that guy's head, just going across. I wonder, I don't think I can see them on the back side, at least not through the camera. So the lower one was, yeah, okay, so, oh, and look at that, there's another indentation on the sides right here. Okay, so across, so we can get it to show up again. It's hard to see it, honestly. Okay, I see it there. Just a bit above Deckmaster. Like about the same thickness as the text of the Deckmaster part. You can see this roller line go across. And then there was the other one that we found right up about here, just about the gathering. I think that's where it is. No, it was probably higher than that. Yeah, it was right there above his head. So that would translate to probably right in the middle of the word magic. That one I'm not seeing as clear. I can see it there. It's just under the C, traveling across. Okay, so that's so there's the ding on the side, there's the dents, there's a semicircular dents, there's another dent down here, other stuff that we observed in the front. I don't see anything else on the edge overall. I will check it out under the, oh yeah, there you can see the roller line much better, right across the word magic right there. I'll go through it. I always look at it under a microscope and a magnifying glass before I start, because it's a very valuable card and I want to do the best I can, and that's how I often go about it. We'll see what we can do with it. And of course, always start by cleaning the card. That's the most important thing. Whenever you're going to repair a card, always start with cleanliness first. Clean the card, because that's, you might not get a chance later. All right, so that's it. Cheers for now, and I'll hit back after I'm done this work. Hey, we're back with this Ancestral Recall. Let's take a look at the results of my work. So as you were gonna, let's look at the first two things. Right above this dude's head, traveling across, there was a roller line. And at this point, it's so faint, I would consider it negligible. Whereas I'm not interested, I don't think it's again diminishing returns to work on it more unless I see another reason. Over here, I would say the same. This one that was just there is almost completely gone. I can only barely see it when I play with the light like that, and I do see it just a bit. So I'll take it under consideration that I might work on this card again. But if that's it, I probably won't. I'm not sure. The indentations I was less sure about removing in one go. So let's have a look. There was that circular one. Around here I don't see it. And we had some indentations here. Now, right there, I'm going to try to focus. I don't think my phone will focus. I'm going to focus on that one. That's the only one I see left at all. The others have lifted out, so that's good. There was quite a few of them there. Other areas of the card, I do remember there was some edge issue. I think it was over on this side, right about there, and it's gone too. All right, so I'm trying to consider whether or not it's worth working on the card again. There is a truth to be said about working on stuff like this, where you experience situations of diminishing return, and with a process like this, there is always risk of damage to the card, even though I do what I can to reduce that risk, below 1%, let's say. But it's never impossible, even following the best of steps. I think, again, it's an acceptable level of risk for the returns when the returns are there. However, I'm going to regard this card overall, take in the condition, take in the rest of these features, whereas this is nearly gone, I think acceptable now. That one up here is really quite gone, I think acceptable. Back here we've lifted out the large majority of all indentations. And the one that is remaining, I'll have to look at it under a microscope and see what is exactly going on there, because I'm surprised that one would remain. I can see where the other ones were, but I think that they're good enough to be gone now. The reason I say diminishing returns is let's look at the card as a whole. We see and notice a bit of edge wear here at the top, and in the corner there's another little thing there. This corner's got a little whitening. See whitening down here. So the question then becomes, do these issues, and again, look, now let's look at this in the normal light. It's very, very minor, that spot, and the normal distance. Not hyper focused on it. Is it worth it? Ask yourself this question if you're ever working on a card, or I find in anything in life. This is, 25 years I've been in building things, making things for people. That's one of my careers. I've done that since 30 years, since 1995. I've been building and making and repairing things. So many times in life I've thought to myself, I think I can make it just a little bit better. And honest to God, there's a feeling in my stomach when I think about this, and also the people I was working with, and they're like, Peter, leave it alone, man. Don't go back and touch that. And I can count, on one hand, I can count the number of times I've gone back and made it that little bit better. And that little bit better is an amount that only I will ever be aware as the builder. Maybe it'll never be seen by anybody else. It's not appreciable. It doesn't make a difference to anything in terms of a bottom line. But it's and to be honest, I think the source of that desire to do that is not trying to make it better and do your best at that point, because whose best is it? Who's it best for? It's best for your ego trying to do a better job in that moment. It's not necessarily what's best for the client or their overall purpose, or the people who want to move on with other work. It's just me trying to see how good I could make something. And I think that was okay. That's a growing and learning experience. But like I say, maybe on the number, on my hand in all those years, I can count both hands. It would take me, I've done a lot of jobs, but let's say there's a small percentage of time I've made it better, and it's an even smaller percentage that it's been meaningful. On a larger percentage of times, I've made the work harder. It's now I have I've actually made it worse by going back and touching it. Now, I often think I did a lot of plastering at one point. I did a lot of old world plastering. I was making walls super smooth and replicating moldings made of plaster on walls. Just be trying to make that molding a little smoother, or that wall a little smoother. And people would be like, you just sand it out. I'm like, no, I'm not sanding. I'm going to completely do this wet glazing the whole wall myself. I'm not going to, and you touch it, and then all of a sudden there's a little bit of crud in there, and then it makes a line, and then you're like, it's actually worse after you touch it than when you started. What's the lesson here? You should leave it alone. Leave it alone. What was it? I worked for somebody once, and they had a great expression. They said, the enemy of, what is it? They said the enemy of the best is good enough. And I think that that's true. The enemy of being your best is accepting good enough. But sometimes sometimes good enough is the job. Good enough is what you're supposed to do. If you're a boxer and you've knocked somebody out and that guy's going to the canvas, you don't need to hit that person again. They're finished. It's done. You don't, maybe that's a poor example, but it's the job is done. If you're in some sort of strongman competition, your competitor's done 10 lifts and you've done 11, and they're gassed out and they're not doing another, why hurt yourself when you have a whole competition ahead of you? I wonder if I could actually come up with a good example. If if in life you have all these tasks and stuff in front of you and they're all important to do, you got to prioritize. So I don't know how I got into such a long-winded explanation for why I might not continue to work on this card, but those are my reasons. Is that I think that the ever so small amount of stuff on this card, like, and let's look at the card in a real lighting like this, even now it's very well, I think viewed by the camera here. It's quite an exceptional view it provides, more so than almost a naked eye. I don't think that those issues, I don't think there's anything like a roller line here that detracts. I don't think that's a detraction. I don't think that one little mark on the back here, that little tiny mark, is more obvious than the whitening on the corners or at the top. I think that those glare out first. So unless I can improve the whitening, there's no reason to go improve this other thing. That's the type of thing I used to do in my careers. I'd go work on this one thing when, I should be looking at the big picture. I think that's what I'm trying to get at, is look at the big picture of this card. It's done. This card is good. It's all the things that need to be done were done to the degree they needed to. I'm not trying to impress or wow somebody. Look how good I am at my work. Look what I can do. I'm just going to risk your whole card one more time just to, see if I can get that one thing out. That's not what I'm here to do for the people who I fix cards for. I do that on my own cardboard and stuff. I do for experiments. I don't run experiments on other people's cards. Like, I'm results driven, and I want them to have a good result. And they would get no better result by me repairing that if I wasn't able to take that whitening off, which I can't, because that's color that's left the card. So that's why this job is done. I'm happy with it. I hope you guys enjoy the rambling and the card repair videos and the results. I'll definitely have some new cards to repair and fun stuff coming up. I think next video I'll be bringing you guys and involving you, if you're interested, into the revised booster box break that I'm doing right now. We're up to 17 of the 36 spots filled, and I'm just really looking forward to cracking that and having a good time with folks. So talk to you later, and thanks as always for watching. Cheers.